Stay tuned to hear from the experts and join us at the next Industrial Hygiene Seminar series by visiting www.swcoeh.org and navigating to upcoming events on the bottom left of the page. Also, join our email list, which you can find in the top right of our webpage.
There was a federally funded demonstration project there to measure all children who came into that clinic for any purpose to take a blood sample and measure it for lead. Well, this little girl who had the earache came in and her blood lead level was 57 micrograms per deciliter. That's an extremely high level of lead in the blood for a child. And she said, wait a minute. And she grabbed her daughter's toy purse and she opened it up and she reached in and pulled out a handful of these metal squares that were dull gray metal. She said she uses these as play money. I said, these things are lead. That's probably where she got lead exposed. Overall, we ended up finding 24 children in this neighborhood who were poisoned with lead as a result of this piecework operation at the factory.
Presently, that has been reduced to 5 micrograms per deciliter, not only for children, but also for adults.
Pottery, there's all kinds of places where kids are getting this lead. I went around our house and I picked up 8 items commonly found in homes, I'm assuming. Chili powder, the lead raw result. In fact, there was probably like 6, and it ended up having a little bit more, 16 parts per million rough ground cumin, which was also on the hit list from Dr. Gates. It again was around 6 parts per million. It had 1,440 milligrams per kilogram. So this would be something you don't want to have a kid chewing on or have in places where the kids can get it on their hands. And you can see that's not zero. So there's some in there. So the big question is, kissing babies with lipstick, do you know how much lead may be in the lipstick that you have? And again, it didn't test zero.
Basically, lead or plumbum was discovered somewhere around 7000 BC. It was actually extracted from ores containing silver. Nobody was chasing after lead at that time. They were actually chasing silver, but they were getting lead ore coming out of the mining operations that they had at that time in the 4th century BC in metalworkers. So that's the first recorded occupational disease. Lead was used by the Romans in paints and water pipes and food and beverage storage vessels.
For most of the 20th century, leaded gas was considered normal, but it really wasn't. Lead is a poison and burning it had dire consequences, as I said. But this whole issue of tetraethyl lead goes back to 1921, when General Motors engineer named Thomas Migley and his boss, Charles Kettering, discovered a new additive which worked to reduce knocking in car engines, as well as prevent an engine exhaust valve and valve seat wear. This additive, tetraethyl lead, called TEL, was a highly toxic compound that was eventually discovered back in 1854. In 1924, we find that 2 workers died because of exposure to tetraethyl lead.
All right, some of the project case studies that I'm going to be talking about are bulk sample analysis, predominantly of lead-based paint materials. In a lot of cases, we kind of did some combination surveys looking for asbestos-containing materials as well as lead.